I think it's safe to say the Sonic Colors was a revolutionary game for the Sonic franchise. Just take a look for yourself. The Nintendo Wii was selling like crazy, and Sega really needed to cash in on the hype with a Sonic game. Their last two Sonic games on the Wii were very poorly received by fans. Sega had been adamant on forcing in motion controls, but let's be honest, high-speed gameplay and motion controls don't mix at all. So finally, Sega gave up on their movement-based agenda and started working on a Sonic game with regular controls for the Wii. It was set for release in November of 2011. The game was Sonic Colors, and it was received much better by the fans. It started a wave of newfound optimism within the Sonic fandom, with many of us thinking that Sonic's slump was finally over. Obviously, that wasn't the case. But that doesn't take away from the praise this game got. I mostly played the DS version of this game as a kid. I didn't have a Wii at the time, something to do with my brain rotting if I bought one. I don't know. I'll cover the DS version later, but I did get my hands on the Wii version of Colors when I was 10 years old, and I remember having a good time with it. Colors has been around for almost 9 years, so how does this game hold up? I think Sega saw Mario's success in his interstellar escapades and thought, I'll have me some of that. And just put Sonic in space. Now, why is Sonic in space, you may ask? Easy, Eggman built an amusement park in space as an act of remorse for his evil deeds in the past. Damn, maybe if I build myself an amusement park in space, God will forgive me. How did Eggman build an entire interplanetary theme park without people noticing? Easy. He did it really, really fast. As much as I'd like to say my boy Eggman was really trying to turn his life around, that's not the case. You see, he used tractor beams to kidnap entire planets to add to his park. These planets just so happen to be inhabited by aliens called Wisps. Wisps have an energy in them called Hyper-Go-On energy, and Eggman realized this could be used to control minds, just because it can. The amusement park was a way of him disguising his giant mind control cannon that he built in space. For some reason, despite all the stuff Eggman has put the government through in the adventure games, no one felt threatened by the huge structure the world's most notorious villain had built in the stratosphere. Well, no one but Sonic, who went up there like,
Stop the cap! Stop the cap right now! Stop the cap!
You can probably tell what happens from here. Sonic breaks into the park before it opens, finds out what Eggman is doing to the Wisps, then stops him and frees the Wisps. Obviously, he gains an alien sidekick along the way. This one is called Yacker. He's just there for comic relief. In fact, most of the game is comic relief. If you didn't realize already, this game is aimed at a much younger audience, so all the dialogue is written kind of just like a cartoon. Honestly, some of these jokes land pretty well, but some of them don't.
To find Baldy McNosehair, of course. I'm totally calling him McNosehair.
Just don't expect any inspirational quotes from Sonic like in the adventure games. Oh yeah, the Wisps. Should mention those. They can go inside Sonic and allow him to use an ability specific to what type of Wisp he absorbs. I'll get to that in a bit. Sonic Colors controls like any other game in the franchise. He blasts through the levels at high speeds, but you'd be amazed at how hard a time Sega has at getting it right. So how'd they do in Colors? They did alright. It gets the job done. In 3D spaces, you basically just boost forward whilst making sure to kill enemies to keep your movement going. Sonic controls well here. You can make use of the sidestep to avoid obstacles quickly, drift to prevent falling off corners, and a homing attack to precisely attack an enemy or to clear a gap. Sonic's usual arsenal controls well, but can feel just really janky at low speeds. Colors also has a large emphasis on 2D platforming sections, more so than past modern Sonic titles. This is where the game can stumble in some areas. In some ways, the 2D sections feel like a precursor to Sonic Force's classic Sonic stages. Whilst the physics are definitely more refined than that, I couldn't help but have some flashbacks to Casino Forest whilst playing it. Sonic just doesn't control quite right in the air. Many times I pushed my stick as far forward as possible and didn't get the momentum I needed to clear an abyss or enemy. Lots of gaps, they need a run up to clear, but if you stop for any reason before these, you need to go back and take the run up in order to jump over it. Sega also decided to give Sonic a wall jump in the 2D sections. And you know, all they needed to do was copy Mario's wall jump. That would have been perfect, but they had to go do their own thing. Instead of sliding down the wall, Sonic locks onto the wall and you have a really tight window to make a jump. It's just annoying. It's also really awkward just trying to latch onto a wall anyway. For some reason, it seems like there's a really small number of frames in the jump animation where you can actually grab a wall. Basically, wall jumping is the #1 pace killer of Sonic Colors, if you haven't picked up on that yet. The 2D sections are the main downfall of the game. They're still tolerable, and some parts can be fun though. What makes all that a bit more digestible is the wisps Sonic can absorb. The powers you get from the wisps can let you take an alternate path to the goal. However, there's a problem with these guys too. A lot of the color abilities are just taken from Sonic's moveset in past games and are restricted to a wisp with a time limit. The Spike Wisp is the spin dash, the Hover Wisp is the lightspeed dash, and the Cube Wisp is literally just the P-switch from Mario. There's also the White Wisp, which just replenishes your boost supply, so it's like what rings would have been in previous games. There are 4 wisps that actually grant you new abilities. The Cyan Wisp shoots you at high speeds, and you can aim it to bounce off crystals and plot your course. The Drill Wisp drills. It's pretty fun, but it just drills. The Rocket Wisp launches you high in the sky, and you can skydive back down to collect items. And finally, the Nego Wisp, which just consumes everything in your path in an intense rampage. The wisps are all just new gimmicks, but they open up whole new pathways to explore and are really fun to use if you want to optimize your time and get the best rank possible. I really think it's understated the actual impact the wisps have had on the series. They've appeared in most modern Sonic games since Colors. For better or for worse, I'll let you be the judge of that. The levels in this game are just your usual Sonic stuff, made for high speed, plenty of loops, and the odd platforming challenge. I reckon this is what caused people to call the game the beginning of a return to form for Sonic. Except for the fact that you can get some levels with stupid gimmicks. So stupid. You're playing Sonic, you want to go fast. Well, too bad. Stand on this switch and watch the platform move slowly towards you. There's so many dumb things that cause you to slow your progress to a halt for no good reason. The worst example of this would be this stupid yellow spring that follows underneath Sonic. The aim of it is to control your bounces in order to avoid obstacles in the air, but you're really just bouncing so slow. It was okay when it was just a portion of the level, but then they make entire levels based on this dumb mechanic. Start one of these levels and you may as well pop on Avengers Endgame to get you through it. Bad gimmicks aside, the levels are some of the best in the Sonic series in terms of visuals. Well, I mean, they look good for being 480p on the Wii. Each world is a different wisp planet and all have different themes. The best example would be Starlight Carnival, which is a beautiful light show area in the amusement park. Even on the Wii, this stage is stunning. Other levels like Planet Wisp and Aquarium Park also hit the mark really well, but they're definitely more held back by the Wii's limited hardware. Colors bosses are extremely mediocre. There are 3 different bosses: a pirate who you attack a ship to fight, a Ferris wheel robot, and a tour guide ship. The bosses are extremely easy, but suffer from either being way too short or way too long. And when you use your color pairs in a fight, there's just no challenge at all. The main problem is lack of variety. Like I said, there's only 3 bosses, and Sega just reskins them for different parts in the game. I don't really know why so little effort was put into these bosses. They're probably the laziest bosses in the entire series. But with all that said, Colors has what may be the best final boss in the series. It has a great design, just the right amount of challenge. It uses all the powers Sonic harnessed throughout the game against you, and has such a good theme song. Probably goes without saying that this game has a fire OST. It's Sonic, what did you expect? So yeah, I'd say the bosses are like the Star Wars prequel trilogy. Pretty mid, until the end where it suddenly delivers some of the best content in the entire series. Colors also has a multiplayer. It's split screen and works just like normal levels, but you can play as your Mii. Sonic Colors is a really weird game. There's a lot of things tarnishing it, but it's definitely solid overall. I'd recommend it to a Sonic fan for sure, since they pretty much will expect to put up with a lot of BS whilst playing, but I definitely never recommend it to anyone as an entry point to the franchise. I can really see that there's genuine passion put into this game, but if this was considered the beginning of an improvement in the Sonic franchise, then it definitely shows how far the series actually fell. Colors has definitely left its impact on the series. To this day, the Wisps feature in almost every new Sonic game, and have basically become an accepted part of the formula. I don't really know how else to sum up my thoughts on this game, but here's my best attempt. Nice, I guess.